For today's double indie game review, we have two adventure games that do very different things when it comes to logic, with Underground Blossom and the many pieces of Mr.Coo. Underground Blossom is the latest game from Rusty Lake, the now long-standing anthology series involving strange circumstances, a myriad of puzzles, and the mysterious Rusty Lake itself. For this entry, we are stuck in what appears to be train stations that are locked into specific periods of time, involving one of the family members that kind of take place within the mythos of Rusty Lake. Each chapter will revolve around you being in a specific time point and dealing with the family member as a baby, into her teens, an adult, and some other mysterious circumstances. If you are familiar with Rusty Lake, then the puzzle logic should be quite easy or apparent for you. But if you are new, the game features a mix of kind of classic logic-based puzzles such as moving things around in order to get the right pattern, to some that you'll have to rely on the stranger logic of the world in order to solve. The game does feature bonus puzzles and a little bit of an advanced challenge once you finish the main game. And as with their previous titles, you're playing this one not only for the puzzle design, but also for learning more about the lore and story of the series itself. In terms of difficulty and length, I would say that it is going to be on the shorter side. There are a few puzzles that did get me stuck here and there, but nothing that is too over-the-top difficult. So this is a game that, again, it's going to be priced for kind of a good weekend kind of game. And if you do enjoy Underground Blossom, I would highly recommend checking out the rest of the Rusty Lake games in the Cube Escape collection on Steam, as if you enjoyed one, then you will most likely enjoy the rest of the collection and whatever they have coming up next. And now for something a lot more animated with the many pieces of Mr.Coo. This is a beautifully animated point-and-click adventure game where you play as Mr.Coo here, a lovable creature who is just trying to get something to eat, and the world and the strange characters around him are going to cause him a lot of trouble. The game itself is built on each kind of story, kind of chapter, having a completely different environment to it. You'll start out in just a completely black, empty space, and soon enter a world of very unique visuals and colors. Puzzle logic here, just like in our last game, is really all over the place, and it's also quite literally all over the place when you get near the end, and the title of the many pieces will come into play. This is on the harder side in terms of its puzzle logic. A lot of the puzzles in this game will revolve around you doing things or interacting with things in a very specific order. Sometimes you'll need to understand just what is the logic of the world and how it relates to what you're doing in order to solve things. There is a hint system in place that will help you, and I did have to rely on it in quite a few places. Now here's the bad news. There are, when we try this one out on stream, numerous technical issues and bugs with the Steam release. According to the developer on the forums, the studio that he worked with in terms of porting the game to PC and console did not do as good of a job as they were saying. And when we were playing it, the sound or the volume sliders weren't working right. People have reported game crashing, soft locking, and a lot more. And while it wasn't enough to completely ruin the game for me, it is obviously some red marks on the overall grade of this one. The game does end with a pretty big cliffhanger for what I hope we get as a sequel. So this is an adventure game that, if you can put up with the technical issues while they're still in it, it is a beautifully, and again, just aesthetically pleasing adventure game. And just playing this one for the animations and look alone may be worth it. I enjoyed this one. Again, warts and all, and I am definitely here for whatever else the developer has in store for future entries. But that's going to do it for this very quick double review of some really solid point-and-click adventure games. I would like to thank the developers of both for providing press keys to check them out, and let me tell you your game for a future stream and review. It does not have to be an adventure game. It can be, well, just about anything. Then be sure to get in touch. That's going to do it for today's video. Thank you so much for watching. Be sure to do the YouTubing stuff people tell you to do. If you're interested in more of my thoughts on design, check out my books wherever they are sold. Visit our Discord and Patreon, and come back for discussions on game design here, and on game wisdom, where some of the art and science of games.